Secrets, Scandals, and Shadows: The Dark Legacy of John Mitchell. John Mitchell, the 67th Attorney General of the United States under President Richard Nixon, is a figure shrouded in controversy and scandal. From his personal life to his central role in the Watergate scandal, Mitchell's legacy is a complex web of power, corruption, and intrigue. Here are 10 of the most scandalous and shocking facts about John Mitchell, a man whose actions left a lasting imprint on American history. Fact number 1. Early life, war service, and personal struggles. John Newton Mitchell was born on September 15, 1913, in Detroit, Michigan, but he was raised in the borough of Queens, New York City. His early life was influenced by the strict discipline of his father, Joseph C. Mitchell, a professional soldier. Mitchell attended Fordham University, where he earned his law degree and later embarked on a legal career. During World War II, he served as a naval officer for 3 years, attaining the rank of lieutenant. In 1942, Mitchell married Elizabeth Shine, with whom he had a daughter named Jill. This marriage ended in divorce in 1957. Later that same year, he married Martha Beale Jennings, who would become widely known for her outspoken and flamboyant personality, especially during the Watergate scandal. The couple had one daughter, Martha Elizabeth, known as Marty. This marriage added complexity to Mitchell's personal life, intertwining his professional career with Martha's high-profile role in the Watergate events. Mitchell and Martha eventually separated and divorced in 1976, 4 years before Mitchell served time in prison for his role in the Watergate cover-up. Number 2. The Watergate Mastermind. John Mitchell's legacy is most closely associated with the Watergate scandal, one of the most infamous political scandals in U.S. history. As Nixon's Attorney General, Mitchell played a pivotal role in orchestrating and covering up the break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex on June 17, 1972. His deep loyalty to Nixon led him to authorize these illegal activities, aiming to suppress the investigation and protect the administration. The notorious White House tapes captured Mitchell discussing strategies to cover up the crime, making him a central figure in the scandal. Mitchell's involvement eventually led to his indictment and conviction for conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and perjury. He was sentenced to 2.5 to 8 years in prison, serving 19 months, making him the highest-ranking U.S. official ever to be imprisoned for criminal activities committed while in office. Number 3. The Plumbers and Dirty Tricks. Mitchell's role in Watergate extended beyond the break-in, as he was instrumental in forming the White House Special Investigations Unit, commonly known as the Plumbers. This secretive group, which included figures like G. Gordon Liddy and E. Howard Hunt, was tasked with preventing leaks of classified information. However, their activities quickly expanded to include a series of illegal operations against political opponents. One of their most infamous actions was the break-in at the office of Daniel Ellsberg's psychiatrist in 1971, aimed at discrediting Ellsberg after he leaked the Pentagon Papers. Mitchell's authorization of these activities revealed the lengths to which he and the Nixon administration were willing to go to maintain power, engaging in a range of dirty tricks that would ultimately lead to their downfall. Number 4. Campaign slush funds and illegal donations. As the director of the Committee to Re-elect the President, CREEP, during Nixon's 1972 campaign, John Mitchell oversaw the collection and use of campaign funds in ways that would later be deemed illegal. Under his leadership, CREEP raised millions of dollars, some of which were funneled into a secret slush fund. This fund financed a variety of illicit activities, including the Watergate break-in. The discovery of these illegal contributions and the subsequent cover-up efforts became key elements of the Watergate scandal. Mitchell's involvement in managing these funds and his role in concealing their misuse were critical factors leading to his conviction. The exposure of this corruption within Nixon's campaign led to significant changes in campaign finance laws, aiming to prevent similar abuses in the future. Number 5. The Martha Mitchell Effect. Martha Mitchell, John Mitchell's wife, became a controversial figure during the Watergate scandal due to her candid and often explosive public statements. Martha tried to expose her husband's involvement in the Watergate cover-up, but her claims were dismissed by Nixon's aides as the delusions of a mentally unstable woman. This tactic of discrediting her and other whistleblowers led to the coining of the term Martha Mitchell effect, which describes the phenomenon where true accounts are dismissed as paranoid or delusional. Over time, as more details about the Watergate scandal emerged, Martha's assertions were vindicated, highlighting the personal cost of the scandal on both her and John Mitchell. Her role added a deeply personal dimension to the broader political drama of Watergate. Number 6. The enigmatic lawyer and his clients. Before his time in public office, John Mitchell was a successful and well-connected lawyer in New York City, specializing in municipal bonds. His legal career brought him into close contact with powerful financial and political figures, and he built a reputation for his expertise in complex legal matters. However, Mitchell's work was not without controversy. He was known for using his legal acumen to navigate around regulations and engage in ethically questionable practices. Some of his clients were later involved in scandals of their own, further complicating his legacy. Despite his professional success, Mitchell's legal career became overshadowed by his later involvement in Watergate, leaving a complicated legacy of both accomplishment and ethical ambiguity. Number 7. The fallout from Watergate. John Mitchell's conviction for his role in Watergate and subsequent imprisonment marked a significant fall from power. Serving 19 months of a sentence of 2.5 to 8 years, Mitchell emerged from prison a disgraced figure. Upon his release, he largely retreated from public life, living quietly until his death. Mitchell's health deteriorated in his later years, and on November 9, 1988, he collapsed on the sidewalk across from 2812 N Street NW in the Georgetown neighborhood of Washington, D.C. Mitchell died later that evening at George Washington University Hospital from a heart attack, at the age of 75. His death closed the final chapter on a life that had seen both significant influence and profound disgrace, leaving behind a controversial legacy that continues to be studied and debated. Number 8. The Nixon-McGovern smear campaign. In the 1972 presidential election, John Mitchell played a key role in orchestrating a smear campaign against Democratic candidate George McGovern. Under his direction, the Committee to Re-elect the President, CREEP, engaged in various tactics to undermine McGovern, portraying him as a radical who was out of touch with mainstream American values. This included spreading false and misleading information and exploiting McGovern's associations with anti-war activists to paint him as an extremist. These tactics were part of a broader strategy to ensure Nixon's re-election, which was ultimately successful. However, the revelations of these underhanded methods during the Watergate investigation deepened public cynicism towards politics and contributed to a growing distrust of government and the media. Number 9. The shadow of organized crime. Throughout his career, John Mitchell was shadowed by rumors of connections to organized crime, particularly through his legal work in New York. While there is little concrete evidence to directly link Mitchell to any criminal organizations, his association with clients who had dubious reputations raised suspicions. Some conspiracy theories even suggest that his downfall in the Watergate scandal was influenced by these alleged connections to the underworld, though such claims remain speculative. The mere suggestion of these ties added another layer of intrigue and scandal to Mitchell's already controversial life, contributing to the enduring mystery surrounding his legacy and the motivations behind his actions. Number 10. The legacy of corruption and reform. John Mitchell's legacy is indelibly linked to the Watergate scandal and its aftermath, which led to significant reforms in American politics. The scandal highlighted the dangers of unchecked power and the corrosive effects of corruption at the highest levels of government. Despite his protests of innocence, Mitchell's actions as Attorney General and his involvement in the illegal activities of the Nixon administration are often cited as cautionary tales. The reforms that followed, including changes in campaign finance laws and government transparency, were a direct response to the abuses that occurred under his watch. After his release from prison, Mitchell spent his remaining years away from the public eye, dying on November 9, 1988, after collapsing from a heart attack in Washington, D.C. His legacy remains a complex and controversial one, reflecting both the influence he wielded and the scandals that ultimately defined his career.